YouTube, back with another Audio Obsession video. It's definitely been a while since my last one for anybody out there that is keeping track. Just not in the right headspace. I've been in this slump, this funk since my last video. Just the last month or so, it's just been shit. I don't know, I could not get myself to sit down and do a video. I've been watching plenty of my friends with their YouTube channels, been watching all their videos. But for me, I could not wrap my head around it, so I just kind of put everything on pause for a bit. I don't want to do something and then not be genuine about what I'm doing, so had a little bit of a break. Not sure how many more breaks I'm gonna need. It's a common occurrence with me, so bear with me. But anyways, right now I'm in a really good mood. I got some stuff to show you, so this is like another collection update, some stuff that I got my hands on, and I'm gonna get right into it. So first band that I'm gonna show you, if you're listening here, or if you can hear it anyways, in the background, this band is playing. So, I learned about this band back in the 90s, early 90s. I'd say around 92, probably 93. Because I believe the album had already been out for a little bit before I got my hands on it. And actually, it was a buddy of mine who picked this CD up, and it was the only one I had ever seen around, because of course, it was put out self-released by the band. Ooh, listen to those highs. Love it. Anyways, so my buddy gets this album, we're listening to it, and I absolutely fall in love with it. These guys, Canadian band from Toronto, Brampton, I believe, but regardless, Toronto. And thrash, death thrash. This is their first album that I was introduced to, and it's a freaking killer. The band, Entropy, and this album titled Ashen Existence. Let's see if I can do it without a bloody glare. There we go. And we got a picture of the band back there. Ooh, some big hair there, Danny. But yeah, so Toronto band. Mostly, if not all, I believe are like self-releases. This was a thrash staple for me. And of course, being back in the early 90s, being younger, not having access to get out and about, stuff like this was hard to find, and I was lucky in the area that I was living in that even my buddy found it. He still has his original copy that I've been begging him for years and just refused to sell or give it to me. So I went on the hunt, and I thought, you know what, I got to get my hands on this album, because out of all of their catalog, of course, it was my introduction, so automatically it makes it my favorite. All their albums that I'm going to show you are fantastic albums, but this one just holds, you know, that special place. So I was on the search and managed to get onto eBay, and I found somebody selling a copy for $9. And I thought, oh shit, I got to get my hands on that. That's a great deal. So, of course, I'm not going to put a bid on it. I'm just going to buy it. It's $9. Then the guy gets back to me, and I start talking back and forth, and I'm sitting there, I'm looking at the name of the guy that's messaging me. Then I'm looking at, you know, the band, and I'm going, wait a second. Is this the guitarist for the band? Sure enough, I was speaking with Mr. Lozon there, Danny Lozon of Entropy. He was selling me the copy that I was getting, so right away, that kind of blew me away. A band and an album that I've absolutely loved for years, decades actually, and here I'm getting it from the band itself. So I thought, okay, now I need the rest of them, because back then, like I said, this stuff was hard to come by where I lived anyways. The information was just hard to come by. So I pretty much lost touch with the band and didn't see any other releases and just kind of moved on and forgot about it. Until recently, when I thought, you know, I need to go back and get something from their catalog. And to be quite honest, because I was so out of the loop, I didn't realize they had more. And it turns out that they had a newer album that came out just last year, 2020. But anyways, Ashen Existence, if you can get your hands on one of these, do so. I'll leave a link to the band, and maybe you can get, you know, in contact, because they've done some represses on some of this stuff. If not all, actually. And, of course, this would be what we're listening to, this album. There's the band again. So, released in 92. Then a couple years later, in 95, they released Transcendence. So now, by this time, and actually you'd probably notice anybody within that were, you know, into metal bands, whether it was like thrash, death, in the 90s, there was that time period where things started changing. Bands that were kind of getting into bigger labels had labels dipping their fingers and toes into, you know, shaping the bands. And generally there was just... It was, well, bands striving to be popular, of course, so things started changing. So that, you go from a kick-ass, say, logo there, and all of a sudden we started noticing in the 90s the trend where it was like more, let's not look like a death metal band and go a little bit more to get out there. I'm explaining it really shitty, but you know what I mean. So, this, I would say, is the start of the band sounding less. So on this album, if you can hear in the background, there's blast beats in there. So this album was definitely more of a thrash, death thrash. There's some high vocals, like, I mean, ball-grabbing high vocals, killer stuff. Gets all the way down to some really deep, deep guttural, and then some just thrash screaming vocals. So you still definitely have the powerful vocals. Jerry, the lead singer, has got a set of freaking pipes on him. It was going more of the modern thrash. So this is where thrash was starting to change and get this, you know, big thick sound, and it was moving with the times. So I start labeling this as the more modern type sound that they're going for. And of course it continues, but they go back to the cool logo on E3, their third album release. And this came out, there was actually quite a gap from 95, the second album, to this, 2012. And see there's the back of it, another self-released album. Band in there. There we go. Killer album. You can tell musically the band is really progressing. I mean, all the albums, the music is absolutely fantastic, but it just seems to be an even tighter sound with each album and each progression that they get. And up until we've got, well, check this shirt, and that would be their latest release, Forced Convergence. And this came out in 2020. If I can get it without the bloody glares. Jesus Murphy. And this has got an absolutely killer cover. This is a great album cover. This screams thrash when you look at this cover. That's awesome. And yeah, of course, from Danny, the guitar player, and I managed to, you know, pick up shirt, and now I'm complete. Finally, it's only taken me absolutely forever, but better late than never. And yeah, I'm gonna definitely leave some links to check out. They got like a website. I'm pretty sure I can probably get some videos off YouTube here. I can, you know, put some links in there. I like to go to Spotify for me only because if I'm at work, I can just let it stream, and I don't know, it just seems to work a little bit easier. I have better control over it. When I'm on YouTube, for some reason on my phone, it just does not want to work well for me, and it keeps screwing up, and I get frustrated at work. And if my tunes start screwing up, whatever. So, but they don't have, I know they've got the new album on Spotify, but the rest I can't seem to find. So, anyways, I'll find links. Doesn't matter. Entropy is a fantastic Canadian band, killer band that you got to get your hands on. Their discography. You can literally start anywhere in this discography, and you'll enjoy it all. From there, we are moving on to. Okay, so anybody who's watched, if anybody's watched, I know some people have, my videos, you'll remember, hopefully, this band here, Ultra Tomb. So this is an definite homage to old school death metal, like early 90s, even very end to late 80s death metal. Old school style. So, and these guys are from Quebec City. And an interesting thing is everything on this album is all done in French, sing in French, lyrics, everything is all French. So why I brought that album up is because I pre-ordered their latest album a long time ago, and it finally came in. And it would be Ultra Tomb's Abyss Mortifère. Check out this awesome album cover. Great killer artwork. So, like I said, old school death metal sound. And on here, the hype sticker says for fans of Autopsy, Dismember, Bolt Thrower, and Entomb. Okay, a little bit. So a little bit of Bolt Thrower, and definitely a little bit of Autopsy in there. I don't quite hear the Dismember and Entombed. What I do hear, me personally, is like old school Morgoth, and really early death, like say Scream Bloody Gore era death. So when I'm speaking old school death metal, that's the sound that I'm talking about. And so yeah, here's the hype sticker there. Read that. So this one was actually a Die Hard edition. So it came with some couple extra things. Here we got, yeah, just some, you know, advertisement stuff. Other albums here. And this is really cool. This is gonna go on my motorcycle jacket or my vest. Awesome Ultra Tomb patch. Really cool. Sucker's big too. Awesome patch. Love getting stuff like that. And what guy does not like stickers? This bad boy will see it on my toolbox. I'll find a home for that. What a great logo. I love this logo. Screams old school. And get into the album here. So, of course, it was a limited edition. Die Hard. For the life of me, I can't remember how many copies. Doesn't matter. Came on this nice kind of translucent orange. It's kind of looking... yeah, I think it looks kind of candy orange. Really cool. This is a fantastic record. It's definitely... they haven't kind of swayed from the last album. It is that pure old school sound. And actually, from my ears, now I don't know if it's only the vinyl pressing. I haven't actually heard it digitally or on CD. this was my only listening to this new album. But I actually find it a little bit more less refined than the last one. It's got less clarity to it. It just seems like they're kind of going back, you know, making it sound more vintage, old school death metal, I guess you'd say. But yeah, it definitely had that more raw production on it. So whether that was what they were going for or just whatever, who they had producing it, no clue. Here we got the insert, so we got a picture of the band. Hooey, excuse me. And on the back here, logo, some art. We got all the lyrics there. If you feel like reading in French. And this came with, I'm gonna try to, I'll try to open this sucker up, because it's awesome. Move my chair back here. So we got, from the album cover here, a nice poster. And not one of those half-size posters either. This sucker's a full-size door poster. Fantastic work on it. Awesome artwork. I absolutely love it. But yeah, if you watch my videos, you know I'm a sucker for this kind of artwork. It is awesome. Great stuff. So yeah, fantastic band out of Quebec City. So if you're into your old school death metal, you've got to check this album out. Great album. And it's on Temple of Mystery Records. See if I can get that in there. And yeah, I'll leave a link for this as well. And last but not least, this band here, I just got this CD in today and I just spun it for the first time a little while ago. These guys are buddies of mine. I consider them my buddies. Hopefully they consider me too. But anyways, these guys I've been a fan of, and I've shown their CDs or their albums on a previous video. I've been a fan of these guys since they put out their first CD. For the life of me, I've been trying to track down how I came across them, and I can't figure it out. There used to be a guy, I believe his name was Randy Beach, out of Western Canada somewhere in like, you know, BC somewhere. And he used to do, you know, reviews and just pumping out all kinds of like Canadian, whether it was stoner rock, doom, whatever. He was in there, and I'm almost positive that's where I got him from. And I haven't seen that guy posting stuff in a long time. He was like my go-to guy to find out about great music. Anyways, another Toronto band, and this would be Low Orbit. And their new album, Crater Creator, literally just released. Track list, got some artwork, the guys. So these guys are part of the doom scene. They get lumped into the stoner doom. I hate calling bands stoner because I know it's a genre and it just lumps people into that category, and it's like sometimes they just have absolutely nothing to do with that kind of name. Which these guys don't. But whatever, that's people, they gotta make up, you know, genre names just so that they can describe to their friends, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, this new album is huge. So from their first album, the amount of progression just in their tunes, so they've got, this will be their third album now. Their last album, Space Cake, prior to this, was to me a big, massive improvement. Mainly in like the song structures, the actual songs themselves, like the music behind them, and then of course the production. the production on Space Cake was fantastic. This is even better. They sound huge. They sound like a 5 or 6 piece band with this album, and they're a 3-piece, and the kudos to the production on this album. It is fantastic. Absolutely huge. And a lot of these stoner doom bands, whatever, always get lumped into the, you know, the sleep categories, the Electric Wizards, the Black Sabbath, you know, where many would say that's where it started from. Yeah, okay. There's, you know, elements of that in there, but what I can actually honestly say about these guys is that they don't sound like somebody else. There may be elements in there, but I'm not listening to them going, oh yeah, they remind me of, you know, Black Sabbath. They remind me of whoever. To me, they just have their own sound, which is, it's getting hard to come by nowadays with, like, everything's been done. Everything since Volume 4 has been done. Like, in metal, in rock, whatever. But these guys they've mastered their own sound, and they're really, really coming into it. And they honestly have their own sound now. And they definitely have to be proud with this release here. And I'm glad I owned it. Of course, I own every version of their discography, so now this will be hard to see, I think, but right there, that label, very hard to see. See if I can get it in focus. Probably not, but Pink Tank Records out of Germany is releasing this stuff for them now. They've got an album, like vinyl, coming out, which of course I've already pre-ordered, so I got my name in there for that one. Had to have it. And of course, they had a cassette being done. So the first time that they've got a cassette getting put out, so I got one of those coming too. Anyways, I love supporting this band. I'm gonna go see them in December, playing in Toronto with some other great bands. And I'm happy to have this, and kudos to you guys on doing a killer album. Love this album. And that is all I have for today. Hopefully I won't take too long for the next one. And if you stuck it out this long, I appreciate everybody who watches, likes, subscribes, you know, leaves a comment. Everybody always has something good to say, so I'm not abandoning this community yet. I'm just getting out of my little break, and hopefully I'll be a little bit more consistent. I've got a handful of other stuff that I got to show. Some really good stuff that, oh man, I got some good stuff. So anyways, thank you for watching, and hope everybody's doing well, and I'll see you guys next time.